seventh generation is about vision. It's about leadership looking ahead. It's about responsibility. And seventh generation reminds you that you have responsibility to generations that are coming, and that you indeed are in charge of life as it is at the moment.
Metal fan being right in your backyard, you know?
Yes, we are upstate and downstate, but we are one state because we are New York. Because we are New York.
When running for office, Andrew Cuomo said, "We are one state and that all watersheds are sacrosanct." In other words, sacred. Once in office, Cuomo changed his tune to only New York City and Syracuse watersheds are sacred, and therefore have fracking bans. Evidently, we are not one state.
Commissioner Martens, you are being irresponsible by proposing to protect residents of New York and Syracuse more than me and my neighbors. Shame on you, Commissioner Martens. Shame on you. Equal protection for all New Yorkers.
Yes. Yes. With the pro bono help of attorneys Helen and David Slotchie, many municipalities seeking to preserve their character and avoid industrialization are adopting a zoning law or an amendment that specifically prohibits high-impact industrial uses, such as fracking within their town or city. We'd like to thank Helen and David Slotchie for their immeasurable help and dedication to protect our homes and families. Help for local governments and community groups can be found at their website, Community Environmental Defense Council, Inc.
Citizens are finding, instead of helping communities stop the fracking and its potentially toxic impacts, state governments, including the environmental regulatory agencies like DEC, DEP, and EPA, are actually issuing drilling permits to corporations. It appears the governor's office and parts of the DEC are actually working with the gas industry to frack New York.
Many towns and cities are looking inward, adopting local laws which assert the community's right to self-govern and thus ban corporations from fracking. It's the town government's obligation to protect the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens. When the county, state, and federal government fail in their duties, it's a duty of the town to take action.
We have to get together and take some action. Only thousands of people getting together and convincing those legislators in Albany and perhaps the governor that this cannot happen in the Finger Lakes and it shouldn't happen anywhere in New York. But it will only happen if people get together in large numbers and come out of their homes, go to town meetings, go to county meetings, and go to Albany. So people should not act alone in this situation. And sometimes we get really frustrated because we don't think enough is being done. But again, community groups are the strength that will help us stop this madness. If people are going to think about engaging in nonviolent protest, it has to be done with a great deal of preparation and a great deal of discipline. Never resisting an arrest, because if the law enforcement feel that they're in jeopardy, then they may get excited. And if there's any kind of physical confrontation, it often results in felony charges being placed against people, and that just doesn't work. That uses up a lot of energy of the people. It takes them out of the struggle, so that if we're going to do symbolic arrests, they have to be done very carefully and very disciplined. Not to use any force, not to resist, and not do anything that would inflame the situation and result in bad press. The reason to be doing civil disobedience is to bring more people into the movement, not turn people off and make people think that this is some fringe movement. This is not a fringe movement. This is a very deeply based movement, and we have to work in that context. We want to bring more people in and get them involved, and the best way to do that is with a great deal of respect, no violence, and careful planning and careful execution.
I say this is the third year of the occupation of Dimmock, because I've been going at this for 3 years, and I was never in a war, never lived through wartime, but I equate this to a war because I am the resistance, and we are occupied, and someone has come into our lives and taken over, and they have gotten the support of some of the locals. I think that happens in war, and then there are some of us that can see it as not a good thing, as an occupation. I do this, I feel that I have to do it, and my support for my family. My dad is 84 years old, still alive, and he's a World War II vet, and he's my biggest supporter, as is my husband and my daughter, who are proud of me. But my dad told me he didn't have a choice in World War II. The war came to him, he fought in it, and he said, "You'll do that, Vic, you'll do the right thing, you can't put your head in the sand." So I do this for my father and my daughter.
Just like in All the President's Men when Deep Throat said to Robert Redford, "Just follow the money." Well, just follow the lethal flowback fluids. Just follow the radioactive drill cuttings, and you'll easily shut them the frack down.
Just